For sale is our 1992 Oshkosh LB bus, and this is a quick overview of the truck.
Yep. The parking brake is on. Horn works. Turn signals work. Wipers work. Steep hill. We're demonstrating the parking brake. Just slowly apply the parking brake. Going about 25 miles an hour. And now it's all the way down. Release that. And we're going to make our turn. Now we're going to accelerate up the hill. Now we're going to jump out and take some photos. Alright, so get the temp gauge. So the engine's at temperature now, and I'm just going to show you that it starts up well when it's cold and when it's at hot. And it revs through the RPMs nicely. I'm not going to over rev the engine because I don't like doing that. There's no point to free rev it, but you can see here on a vacuum gauge, it makes great vacuum at idle. We're just over 20. So, nice solid unit. And that's the truck. You got. All right, stop. That's good. has a Onan Marquis 7000 gas generator. You can start it. We're going to go inside the truck. Once this light turns on, you know that you're making power. So now we know we have power, so you can power all your appliances. You can power your drill behind you. And most importantly, the air hookup underneath. And that air compressor here, down below. And then your generator's here. You also have a control panel here, so you can start and stop it. We'll let the generator build up, we'll let the air compressor build up before we shut it down. And you can see that all your cabinets open and close. We have a little speaker system in here, in here, which powers these two speakers, so you can listen to music. There's tons of lighting underneath all the cabinets, so you can turn on all the lights pretty much throughout the entire cabin. Then you have wall outlets everywhere, so you can charge up all your appliances. And then you have your toolboxes, which have all your tools, and your 20-ton hydraulic shop press. So in a nutshell, this is the bus. All these drawers open and close. Hold all your tools. Really nice heavy-duty drawers. And this just closes. Just to close it. That's your truck. So we'll let the air compressor finish building up its pressure, and then we'll shut everything down. Everything's on a switch. I'll leave that on to tell me if I have the generator on or shore power. And shore power is right here. This is your shore power line. And this can go out through the other side of the bus, through that little service hatch right at the front. So I'll show you that on the outside right now. So this is your service hatch, and you can just fish it through right here. And we normally keep this locked. Wrong key. And you can reach in there, grab your cord, and pull it through. And then you just flick this up, and you can latch it again, and then you can just hook this up to your shore power. Now we'll go to the other side because we have outdoor air. Now our air tank's right underneath here, and our outdoor air pickup is right here. Wrong key again. No way, maybe that was the right key. So this is your air hookup here, and another one here. You're trying to fill your tank with another air compressor. And we have a new exhaust right here. You can just hear the air compressor just turned off, so we're full. There's a small leak underneath the truck, and that's at one of the fittings. We used to have a little sanding equipment on the other side and a little sandblasting cabinet. And then this is your new tailpipe here. We have new tires on it, new brakes. serviced recently in the last 6 months. We haven't put very many miles on this since then. But everything works. The canopy extends. However, this canopy is damaged right here. This little section right here that broke off not too long ago and never got around to fixing it. You can walk up on the ladder and check out the roof. We just recently did a new EPDM coating across the roof, and it's been parked under a tree for a little while, so that's probably pretty dirty. Overall, the truck's in good shape, runs and drives, has a bunch of spare parts for it. We know that it needs a new O2 sensor at this point, just got a code for that popped up. And we have a small vacuum leak in the actual throttle body itself, but we have the rebuild kit. So if we get around to that, hopefully get around to that before this goes up for sale. All in all, it's a really solid truck. It's an old truck. It's a 1992. The chassis is from the 90s. That's what the drive-line's from. So this is a Dodge 360 throttle body injection truck. And the drive line's all the same. The rear axle is a Dana 70 HD, so that's 10,000 pound rated axle. This has leaf springs that were added to it. It used to be a California service truck that would go around and do all the air conditioning units for the buildings and also for some automotive stuff. And it has like 80-something thousand original miles. I'll put all that stuff in the listing, and also can put up a copy of the Carfax. There's a lot of good details on this truck. It's pretty well serviced. It's got a bulletproof 727 TorqueFlite transmission, which is just a 3-speed. The cruise control works. If you're on a flat plane, I have no problem going 55 to 60 miles an hour. If you're going uphill, you lose a little bit of speed because it's only a 3-speed and it's a gas engine. But as long as you're not pushing it too hard, everything's fine. In a hurry, I've gotten it up to 70 to get me to the job site, but I try not to do that just because it's such a big truck. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this and you have any questions, feel free to send us a message or email or request for any other photos. Happy to post it up. And if you're looking to get into the mobile auto repair business, or you're looking to have an on-site vehicle support for your own equipment or your own race car, this is a pretty good setup to get you started. Thanks. Happy motoring. So now we're back to the interior of the van. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the air compressor. Now the air compressor is not running right now, but this is just a little pressure switch. So once it gets below its set PSI, it turns back on to give you maximum air. And I never run any other equipment and the AC at the same time. So if it's super hot and I need to cool the place down, I can go ahead with my generator running and just turn this to low just to get it started, and just set it to the cooler setting, and the AC will start to blow cool. Now the AC on the truck doesn't work right now. It doesn't hold a charge. It holds a charge, I'm sorry, but there's a small leak somewhere in the AC, and we haven't had the time to go through and find it. It's been pretty cool here in these last few months, so we haven't had to use it. If it gets too hot, we just turn on this unit here. The heat works great, and it's on the defrost works really well too. The heat inside this thing, it has 2 heater elements. One of them must have burnt out because it's not putting out a great amount of heat. Now it'll take the chill off in here when it's a cold frozen day, but it's not going to produce a lot. The other thing that I've not tinkered with is that this little hose right here, there's an air tank that goes to this little hose. We've never used it. Someone used to use this, I'm sure, for quenching metal when they were doing some sort of repair or brazing or soldering or welding, but we've never had a need for that. But everything else on this truck works pretty well. Again, if there's any questions or anything you want to see on it, be happy to show you. See here, let me just turn this off. There's just one heat setting right here, and it's just a pre-wired for heat unit. And up top we also have a storage unit, so that when you're going on the road, if you have extended mobilization, you're going to be out on the road for a couple of days, you can put all your personal belongings on the roof. And if you need an O-ring chart, that comes with it too. Alright, recording. So this is the generator control panel inside the truck. I showed you how we started from the outside, but if you're going to turn it off, you just hold it in stop position and it turns itself off. If you have to restart it, you hold it, starts itself back up. And this is your little meter right here. This is our hour meter here. And I'm just going to go ahead and shut her down because we're going to park this truck and go home because it's Friday. Alrighty.